Hello, everybody, and welcome to the initial podcast for British Locomotive Studios. My name is Jordan Devison, and I am joined today by Samuel Beeman.
Yes, I'm here. Hello, fellow simmers. How are we all doing?
Also joined by Will Braddock
Hello, everyone.
and LJ Trains.
Hi everyone. I love the awkward silence when Sam was supposed to talk.
First
Yeah, we
podcast,
can just
it's going to
forget that.
happen. First podcast, it's
Yeah.
going to happen.
Didn't that happen
Yes,
last stream,
yes,
though, when
I'm
Sam
here.
hosted the Mid-Norfolk, though?
It did. It did. Right, so yeah, as I said at the beginning, welcome to the first podcast that we are doing. We're hoping to do a few more of these in the future. It's just an idea that we've had, well, this evening really, and it's just an excuse for us to start talking about packs, routes, projects we've all got on the go in the BLS development team, and to be able to talk to you guys about what's happening or what's coming out in the near future. So as today we've
And
got
the progress.
and the progress, of
stuff.
course.
Yeah.
So
All love the progress report, don't they?
well, it's exactly. Everyone likes to be kept up to date on what's going on. So obviously today we're going to be talking about the upcoming Great Central Railway Locomotive pack, and this has been spearheaded, project led by Will. If you
Yes,
want
it
to
has.
wanna
Yes.
have a little chat about it.
So, I'm actually a volunteer on the diesels at the Great Central, currently a trainee second man, and I recently started doing a upgrade for Steam Stand Supreme on the route for the Great Central, because obviously it's getting on a bit now and it's probably not the best it can be. So recently I started to upgrade the route using cab ride videos and all sorts of stuff that I get for being a volunteer. And then one day I literally thought, and I turned around to Sam over here and I says, "Look, I want to do a Great Central Diesels pack." Now, you might be wondering, how does a Diesels pack fit into a Loco pack? Well, I got into it about a few locos in. I'd done a 20, a 33, and a DMU. And I just thought, you know what? Could do some steam locos. So I got Mr. Devison over here involved.
Yeah, that you did.
And that required you learning a lot of new skills, didn't it, Jordan?
Well, I think when I done this, I'd literally just done two sets of reskins. One which was just a patch in a sense.
Yeah. That was the bullets, wasn't it?
That was the blue.
blue.
Yeah, the blue bullets.
So what's the pack makeup now? We've got two different versions of 27, two versions of the 20, a DMU in early blue. I'm not going to say the dreaded word of what that livery was called.
It's chromatic. Green chromatic blue.
Matt's going to bring out the banner hammer when he sees this now. Then, obviously, we've got two versions of the ATEF. Is that official? Two versions now of the ATEF, Jordan?
Yeah, so people will be seeing in the screenshots that are on screen for you to have a look at. There is the BR version. I am still working on the LMS version.
Okay.
Still
and
a work
then,
in progress.
Yep. Then finally, we have the two beauties that Lewis was working on, which are the 37s.
Yeah, you want to
So,
speak a little bit about those, Lewis?
Yeah, go on, Lewis.
Well, basically, it all came down to Will, you were gonna do the new repaint that 714 has, which
Yes.
got scrapped due to difficulties. And
To
I
say
was
the
like,
least.
I was like, I should basically just come up and I was like, there's like another two 37s that were at the Great Central. Do you want me to do them? And I did, and one of them, which was gonna be a yellow 37. I don't know if you want to talk about that one or not.
It's
Or
best
do we
not
leave
to
it
talk
out?
of-
Which one?
Yeah, we leave that.
We'll
It
leave
was
that one
gonna be
out.
it was gonna be a yellow 37, but that we're not doing that anymore. However, Will was like, there's 37255 that needs doing, and obviously that's in scuffed condition. um,
That's the one word to put it.
and
Scuffed condition.
yeah, and having just literally at the time recently done the Churnet Valley 37s, I was like, yeah, I'll do 37255, and so I did that, and then after doing another 37 pack, which is yet to be released, which includes a version of 37714 in DRS, Will was like, if you do the Morris liveried one, that'll be really good. So then I did the Morris Lubricants branded XDRS one.
Short-lived as it was, I really did
And-
like that.
And yeah, that's basically all that came down to, really.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
the 255 skin is you made it look its rustiness, didn't you? It has all the rust and the door on
Yes,
the
it
side
has.
and stuff.
Has all the distinctive features like a
Yeah, there's
Here's a
I mean,
photo of it
it-
now
yeah,
on,
like-
on
yeah,
stream. I'll
photo
just
of it,
pause it here
perfect,
for you now.
perfect timing.
yes, it's basically heavily I guess you could say, I guess you could say weather worn Dutch civil engineers with it's the grey rail freight. Is it train load?
It's something like that.
Yeah, transloaded. I believe.
Sectors,
Transrail,
Yeah.
sectors,
Transrail.
whatever it is.
Yes.
We'll go with, and it has the engine room doors of that one. It has obviously marks and all that of rust and all that. It's got random patch marks where it has it in real life. It also has the frost grill like it does in real life.
Yes.
And overall, you could just see it's all very dirty, and as you can see around the
Eroded.
three windows. Yeah, around the three windows, it's very
Mossy.
green.
It's very mossy,
Yeah.
yeah.
So supposing you had
Another
to look
thing that
at supposing you had to look at a lot of photos to get the
Yes, I
weathering
had
right.
3 main photos of it, and one thing which we'll have to wait for when it comes back on the screen, but the marker lights, the marker lights, the flat marker lights on the head code box,
Mhm.
they are normally white. However, after looking at pictures of 255 in real life, they're not white anymore. They're more like a very weathered grey, dark grey, almost brownish. So that's what I've done with that. And
Okay.
714 is just the same except XDRS with with a Morris logo on, which was completely crafted from scratch. That logo.
Oh, was that
There you
fairly
go.
easy to attach to the
Oh,
side of the logo?
Actually, it's
As-
perfect,
as we
right?
can
It's
see
the-
it there.
The Morris Lubricants logo. Yeah, so the actual Morris and then the lubricants part, that is a ready logo that I found on the internet. Everything else was hand built.
Mega. The
But
font
even
is,
all the
the font
writing,
is
the
identical
writing.
as well.
Yes, I managed to match the font. Just from the writing just below lubricants, that's all custom.
Okay.
That's cool. That.
Interesting to note.
And one cool feature is that if you look close, I don't think we have a picture that shows it perfectly, but you can see where the DRS logos used to be. It's like a slightly different shade of blue.
There might be something
And
about.
that's pretty cool.
Depends on the lighting of the game as well, so you can see that.
Yeah,
isn't
it really does. But it is there. You could see where the compass logo used to be.
Yeah.
So a
So
lot.
yeah, that's the story behind the 37s.
So a fair amount of work went into that Morris one then.
Yeah.
So, Will, do you want to have a quick chat about some of the skins that you've done? in the
Yeah.
sets for the pack?
I'll start with the one that's currently on the screen, the 20.
Yeah, I'll just pause it there for you.
So over the past few months, the 20 has started to look very tired, very work worn. And on the off chance, I believe one of the owners just turned up with a bucket of yellow paint and painted full yellow ends on it, and left the rest. So with my 2 versions of the 20, you have got the very worn green, faded concoction of things on that But what I've represented on the full yellow version is the fact that the body sides and the underframes are heavily worn, but you'll find that the yellow panels are completely fresh and clean,
Okay.
like it is in real life, just to resemble the
A
fact that
fresh coat of paint's just been applied.
Yeah, exactly. I felt that was a really big thing. So if you can see, the lighting doesn't really show it on that one, but the green one has got lots of streaking down the front where the horn grills are.
Yeah.
And little indentations of rust and just general wear and tear, really. And then when the full yellow one comes back around, you'll see that the front is completely nicely polished and clean.
Yeah, it is very, very clean.
Yeah, I'm just.
That's why
Yeah.
you've made
Again,
it a bright yellow,
like a
isn't
new
it?
coat of
Yeah.
paint.
Yes. And one thing that I have done. There you go. Look at that. The yellow nose pokes out just like it does in real life. Completely fresh. Another thing with the 20s that I've done, not necessarily on other things I've done, is essentially blend two shades of BR green together and go through with grunge brushes in Photoshop to pick out blemishes of where it's faded.
Okay.
So a good shot would be of the side. There you are. That shows it there. Look.
I'll pause it here.
You can
for
see. Now. You can see. Further up you go on the engine room doors, you see that it gets brighter where the sun's caught it a lot more.
Yep.
And
yes, I noticed
along the sole bar as well, you can see that it's got some streaking from where the weather's got to it, and basically just general rain's been dripping down the sides. It's taken some rust with
dragged
it.
dirt with it. Yeah.
Yeah, all that lovely stuff.
It looks really cool. It looks really cool.
I'll say, and
I like you've done the bogies as well. You've painted all the bogies up.
Well, a bit of a disclaimer about the bogies. That's a patch that I was thinking about releasing just generally for the 20. Because on the green versions of the 20, you can't reskin the bogies. It's a global texture in the standard green model in the default model. Which doesn't make sense because you can reskin them on the Headco box ones as freely as you like.
And just to clarify, sorry, Will, just to clarify, these are the JT ones, aren't they?
Yes, these are the Just Trains advanced class 20s. Okay. Yes. So I was thinking of releasing a patch with the 20s that allow people to swap in and out the bogies as they please, just purely because. Obviously, you see it's got yellow Timken caps on mine. No one else's will have that because unless I release this patch with it, which I do intend to do, so people can just swap the bogies in and out as they like.
Well, there you go. An exclusive BLS patch there for you guys.
Yeah, if you see one of Sam's shots of the 20, you'll probably find that that's got the original bogie textures on it. But there you are. That shows off the streaking.
Yeah, it's an even better.
Yeah, that's a good one. Around the door and all that looks really cool.
Yeah, it's. I'm pleased. I'm pleased with how that came out.
That is a very good representation of, like you say. There you go.
Hey, well, look, Sam's bogies.
Yeah.
Sam's bogies.
Oh yeah, I see that.
Yeah, they don't have the caps on them.
Yeah. Individual.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to release it with a patch that overrides the default bogies, so people can choose really. 8098s ran with and without the yellow Timkens, so it's down to purely user choice really.
Yeah.
Didn't you also change it so it drives a little bit more realistically?
Yes. I'm not sure if I've included that in the versions I've shared out so far, but I have created a very small physics upgrade for the 20s, specifically to do with the power and the power to weight ratios. I found, and I think many others have found, including you guys, that you open the 20 up to about 40% power, and you're already at 25.
Yeah.
On a 6-coach train.
It shoots off literally.
Yeah. Well, I've tried my best to rectify that, and I believe I showed that off in a BLS private Discord stream, didn't I, at one point? I know
Yes, I do
Sam
remember
and
that.
Jordan were there,
Yeah,
and I was just driving it up and
Right.
down the GCR, and Sam instantly could tell that I was getting a lot more thrash out of it. So I'll take that as it's working.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you sent it to me or not, but I can't remember.
I will do that if I haven't. I will do that.
Hmm. Anything else, guys, we want to talk about? Oh,
well,
Jordan, for example, you haven't really spoken about your skins, like
I was gonna
yeah, I
say
was gonna.
let's
steam
get on the
loco.
steamies.
Well, what can I say about the steamers? At the minute, all people have seen is just the ATEF in its BR maroon, and as said earlier, the LMS one is on the way. The only other steam engine that is in the pack but hasn't been shown yet because it's not been tested or Sam hasn't done a scenario yet for it is the Just Train Standard 5,
Oh yeah.
which Will actually asked me to include because all I was going to do was just the ATF, but he asked me just to tone the colour of the black down ever so more because it was more grey than black, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I think I did the so it comes with a fully set up set of numbers, and it comes
Yeah,
with the correct shed plates already attached to it. So all you've got to do is place it down, and you've got the correct loco.
and it'll be the same for the ATF as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, literally, there's not really much to say about these steam engines, as it is just a purely straightforward
I mean,
texture swap over.
we could talk about all of your loaning process, really, but you know.
Well, that's pretty much it. I mean, Will sat me down at 12 o'clock one night in the yeah practically midnight.
As you
Started
do
yeah as you
at
do
midnight.
started showing me how to do reskinning on Photoshop on a 33. I think we just got the basics done and got the sides repainted and it working in game. And then
Yeah.
that was literally it. It was right. I'm going to go off and go and do the. I think the first one I did was the rebuilt Light Pacific in BR Blue. So that was
Oh
my
yeah,
first
yeah.
proper reskin for BLS. As soon as I'd done that, it was a case of right. I'm going to patch the Merchant Navy blue because that was a bit off. And then straight after that, it was Will asking, could you do. Well, he set me a challenge. Could you do the ATF, which you can see on your screens now, and the Standard 5 was after that.
And can I just say that is an amazing for your first few skins, they are absolutely incredible.
Thank you.
That I mean, just look at that 8F there. It just
Yeah.
looks brilliant, doesn't it?
Well,
And then you have the 37 coming in like, nah.
Yeah, no, you gotta have diesel.
Nah. It's all about me. And then we get
yeah.
the 27. We haven't talked about the 27s.
Right, yeah, come on then, Will. Let's talk about this 27.
Oh crikey. Um, Probably besides the 25 at the Great Central, the 27 is the closest to my heart personally. I've been involved with it, the people around it for years now. Um, and there hadn't really been many 27 skins, early skins that I'd noticed. So a good place to start would be to do something preserved. So obviously I decided to do two versions of the 27. It's a similar story to the 20 as well because you've got an early BR green version there that looks really nice and it's all clean and shiny, you know. And then you've got a well done, more beaten up green full yellow ends, which is what it carried when it went out of service in 2000 and I dare say 2015. It has already been that long. It doesn't feel like it. So yeah, in fact on everything that I've done, I've also had to child object numbers and builders plates, all that fantastic stuff.
So the numbers aren't the original numbers that come with the model, or they're not reskinned.
No,
They are
well,
purely all textured. Sorry,
yeah,
modelled onto the sides.
and so is that logo on the side of the 20. The late, I think it's a late crest, isn't it, Sam, on that 20?
No, it's the early one on that.
It's
It was
the
a
early
late
one.
press
It's the
before.
early one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the 20 had, when I went into this, specifically with the 20, the numbers were very low down on the cab side, almost towards the footplate, on the doors, because they had several different allocations for numbers. So what I decided to do, because I'm insane, is just completely make up 2 number textures, 2 logo textures, and
That's 27.
position them correctly. Yep, there's the 27. That's the full yellow end version, and as you can see, it's in a lot more of a tatty condition compared to the
Yeah, I love the roof. It's the
plain
roof
green
that
one.
really gets me. I love the
Yeah,
roof
it's
weathering.
the roof is supposed to look very, very weather worn. It's got a lot of exhaust pigment and stuff like that. That version also has things like the buffer beam detailing is painted the actual appropriate colours rather than just white like the early green one. It's got yellow Timken caps. This version also has different positions for the builder's plates on the numbering, and this also features different positioning for the overhead warning flashes as well. So
Yeah,
there
because
was
usually
quite
they're
there was
2 either
quite
side, aren't they? Usually
yes.
they're 2 either side. There's just
Yeah,
one.
this also you can see on the tail lights there. This has chrome silver surrounds rather than them just being yellow or green like previous skins I've seen of the 27. So yeah, also the 27 and the 20 come with number presets, so it will spawn in with appropriate head codes, and then the numbering's fully automatically sorted as well.
Yeah, we've got the 33 there as well. Look.
The 33, yeah.
Do you want to move on to the
That's
33?
The 33 was, I mean, it's just an iconic 33 in my opinion, isn't it? You know, you think of 33s and you know you think of something like 6515. It's really clean, it's really well kept, and then you know you think of 6535, and I can't remember the last time it didn't look tatty.
Yeah,
So,
it's always looked at you.
so this one's had a bit of a 37255 treatment, just on a slightly less scale because this one's had work done to it recently. As you can see, it's got patches
Yeah.
of new metal work on it, and yeah, weathering is something like in general that I've kind of wanted to learn for a while on doing skinning, and it's something that I've slowly started to get better at. Well, at least I hope I have. I'll let you guys be the judge of that. But once again, the 33, it's got custom numbers on it. The only really bugbearer with the 33 is those warning flashes on the front. I couldn't for the life of me find out how to remove them. That is the only thing really that that's gone to pot on the 33, so to speak. But it has got its I don't know what it means, but it's got the yellow Timken caps with the red line through it. Something you don't really see on many locos. I don't know what it means, but I've put that on there.
Yeah,
And
if anyone does
obviously,
know what that means, please comment in
yeah,
the
feel
comments.
free. Feel
Yeah.
free because we don't know. And yeah, it's just had the general grotty paintwork represented. It's got faded paint all around it, including the window surrounds, the fronts. You can see in the bottom left corner under the jumper a new piece of metalwork that's brand newly painted yellow. All sorts of things like that. And actually, that's a good shot to show off LJ's weathering on the front of that
Yeah,
37,
that
which looks terrific.
yeah, on
it does
255.
set it off.
Yeah, it's. I think collectively, what we've done for this pack is, in general,
Well,
it's pushing boundaries with what I think we've seen before, but it's also showing the fact that we've learnt a lot as well.
as a group, yeah.
It's one of those packs where it started off with me just doing it on my own, and I've just decided to get other people involved. Because one, they're good at what they do, and two, this was way too much for me to do on my own.
Well, the thing was, the plan was to release this for our Christmas event, and
Yes,
complications came about with not just with the pack, but with other people as well, health issues and vice
I mean,
versa.
the Christmas period was just trying
It
on its
was,
own, wasn't it? It was a really tough
yeah,
turnaround because we were releasing things every week, and
yeah.
whilst that was going on, you still needed to be keeping up with your projects and blooming out.
Well, that's it, and I think the right decision was made to push this back slightly
Oh,
because it's given us
100%.
more time to actually make the pack that bit better.
I do 100% agree. I think that if you think about it, it was going to originally it was only a diesel pack, but with that added time, you've now got a few steam locos incorporated into it as well.
Yep.
Uh,
So
yeah,
I think the next skin to really talk about is that DMU that keeps popping in and out.
that
Yeah.
DMU.
Yeah.
What can I say about the DMU other than the fact that it's just nice, isn't it? Really,
It
that
just
It's
is.
just
early
nice.
that that
Nice.
early blue half yellow panel and red buffer beam is something that I've wanted to see in quite a while, and I'm a bit of an addict to that livery on other locos as well.
Mm.
Which you'll probably see from me in the future because myself and Sam have a few things lined up for something in that livery.
So
Yeah, there it is.
make sure to stay tuned for that,
But yeah,
guys.
that DMU's been reskinned from the standard BR Blue Class 101,
Mhm.
British Rail Class 101 pack. I think it is what it is.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah. So the main thing is really with that is it doesn't show it in this screenshot because that's before I did it, but it's got custom double arrows and a custom private sign because for some reason the font and the logos on this are smaller than any other DMU. So
Okay.
I don't know why that is, but there we go. Another thing with that is the trailer car is literally just the same with a new yellow end on the front, just to slightly make it
Yes,
different.
did notice that.
There you go. I'll
But
pause that there.
because that's what it is in real life. The trailer car and the main car come with once again the lovely polished off numbering, so you get the right numbers as soon as you place them down. I didn't get round to reskinning the blind, so I just set it to charter special because nothing really wrong with that, to be honest.
Well, yeah, most of the time it goes up to Mount Sorrow anyway, which is theoretically
Yeah.
a charter special.
Yeah, and some of the head codes that are in the DMU, the real one at the GCR sometimes uses as well. So I kind of just, save a bit of time to work on something else type thing with that, I'm afraid. But it's not a bad little thing, to be fair.
Again, it's another bit of rolling stock that's missing from the
Oh yeah.
GCR in Train Sim.
Well, the whole idea was this was mainly driven by my eagle-eyed volunteer side of me. But it's nice to finally see something like a Just Trains Class 20 in a suited and booted up new livery that they didn't
Yes,
create in the original pack when
especially
they
with
did
it
it.
being more like towards nowadays. I mean, you said you changed it so it drives a lot more realistically.
Oh yes, yeah, yeah.
It makes them a lot more almost up to date. You know?
Well, yeah. I think realistically, you don't. I'd go as far to say as you wouldn't need a foot if AP were to do something with it. I'd say the JT one would be good enough upgraded, to be honest.
Because it does
Um,
look nice, doesn't it? The actual
it's
model
it's
itself does look nice.
it's by far the best 20 I've seen in a simulator.
It's one of the
Um,
best heritage diesels we've got in train sim at the minute that has aged well.
I
If I
agree.
can put that forward.
It's
Yeah, because believe it or not, that came out in 2008, around that time, and
Yes, that's what I mean.
yeah.
It's aged well. It's kept its age. Whereas you look at some of the others, like say the 24 and the 25, and even the 33, they're very out of date now.
Don't start me on the 25.
No, that's for
Oh, they're
we'll
horrendous.
save
They're
that for
horrendous.
we'll save that for another podcast. Will.
Yeah, we can talk all about Type 2s in about 3 hours.
Yeah.
I mean, the 27 is another one which is just.
It's not bad.
It's not bad, but it's not good.
Oh, 27's got a reskinned cab.
Well, there you go.
Oh,
There you
yes.
go.
And we haven't got a photo of that yet, have we? No.
Well, I do, but I forgot to send it. That's my bad. But it basically, the improvement in the cab is it's a creamy, warmer feeling cab, rather than a massive rust bucket that's literally just like as white as an A4 piece of paper.
Yeah.
So
Right,
it kind of makes it feel a bit more vintage. Type thing.
Yeah.
Trying to think of anything else. I think that's as much as I can say about it, to be honest.
And I think we've covered pretty much most of, if not all of the skins that are coming with the pack. So I think
unless you guys have anything else to add.
I can't think of anything else. Can you, Lewis?
No,
Well, what
I
I
think
can say is, do we have any plans to add any more?
Do we have any plans to add any more? Well, it's funny you should say that. I've got a few ambitions of some GCR locos that I would like to do. A couple of them being Shunters.
Mm-hmm.
Another one would be 714 in its current livery, as you keep going on about.
Yeah, I'll keep going on about that.
That's just a case of making a plate up and a config, which is easy enough. And then really, it's up to Matt Wilson to do the peaks, isn't it? Really?
We
can't do D123, can you? Because there's no peak really suited for it.
Yeah. So Matt, if you're watching this, you know I like the peaks, right? So D123, please, thank you.
Yeah, give it to us.
Right. Well, if that's the case of finishing off on all the locos, I think the next thing to talk about is the scenarios with Mr. Beeman.
Yes.
Mr. Beeman, yes. So currently I have around about 9 scenarios, I believe.
9, blimey,
that are, they are. They range between different gala events and bits and pieces. Like for example, and also I've got a mix of different dates. So you've got 2006, which because I did a lot of research on YouTube and stuff. I wanted to have a look at particular galas that looked interesting. And I'll say one of the most interesting ones that I saw was the 2006 gala, which I think, Will, you went to, didn't you?
I was there as a young lad. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, and the fact that it had a nice lineup. You had the 25 in plain green livery, well, the resident 25 in plain green, which is available on UKTS, and it will require that skin to run that scenario. And you had 25 265 in its tatty blue livery, which again is another UKTS skin. Which will need to be for that particular scenario. There's 2 scenarios based on this 2006 gala, and then there was an interesting thing of a SIG and a VEP, which I imagine was used to be a resident of the railway, but it's not there anymore, is it? I think it's gone. Isn't it?
It sadly, when it was under overhaul, when it was freshly repainted into green, it was sat at Switzerland, and a bunch of yobbos literally just stole everything, stole all the copper and the wiring, and basically left it as an empty shell. So someone bought it from the railway just to put in a museum or something, I think.
Oh, that's such a shame that. Yeah, because it
Um,
was running. That was running with 6535, which was an interesting sight to see the 33 and the SIG running together.
mm.
As that's something that happened in real life back in the heyday of 33s being
Yeah,
enacted.
see, when the 33 ran, it always ran with the SIG. So you know your standard timetable where you got 2 steam and a diesel.
Yeah.
The 33 would just come out with the SIG. No
Okay.
run rounds required or anything. It'd basically fill in for a DMU service as
Yeah, so
well.
it just acts as a push-pull service.
Yeah,
Yeah, and another reason I chose the 2006 Gala as two of the scenarios as well is because it was quite a key point for 37255 as well.
mm.
So I needed to make a scenario for that particular skin, and obviously as it's shown on screen now, which is quite ironic, really, isn't it?
Yeah,
Um,
because 255 isn't actually at the railway as we speak. So
Mm.
it's
so
gone
there's
now,
not.
yeah. It's gone, and it's good to do earlier dates for the GCR so it can utilize that skin, as it were.
Yeah,
And we have scenarios from 2016, which includes the Morris 37, because that was painted in Morris livery around sort of the back end of 2016, which
yeah.
only lasted apparently for about 3 months, as Will tells me.
It is. It was a very short-lived livery because just after it, it went off to Lorem to get its brand new metals livery.
Yeah, so I needed to make sure it was the back end of 2016 to use that particular variant 37. Um,
Yeah, and of course
and
before then it was in DRS Super Shunter livery, which
Mm.
yeah, which isn't included with the pack.
although it did carry it in when it was in use on the GCI, it did carry the DRS branding.
It did, yes.
And there is the possibility to create a scenario with that because I have made that. It's just in a separate pack that's yet to be released.
Mm.
So it could potentially be another scenario that will require this other pack that I'm referring to.
Yeah.
Yeah, or it
And,
could
and
just come with that particular pack. It could come with it, couldn't it?
Well, so it sounded like another future release there from
Yeah, it
BLS.
sounds like. Yeah, I think that's another future thing.
Yeah.
Another thing I have added for it is extra different scenarios. So obviously we've got the Gala scenarios, which is just your typical stopping passenger, as it were, which is a really exciting scenario to do the Gala ones because you get all sorts of AI going past you, and it makes it action packed, as it were. And I think
Mm.
that would be really interesting for people when they're playing it.
Yeah.
And other scenarios include a trip on the 101 to Mount Sorrel, which is quite a common working, especially during galas and things like that.
Mhm.
And then also we have other bits and pieces such as shunting puzzles, which is done in Swiveland sidings. With a class 20, you have to arrange the goods set and basically make up a good set in preparation for a gala. And yeah, it includes a lot of interesting and different scenarios for people to play. And there's also one with the ATEF on the Cromwell Pullman set, which is a regular thing that they do now and again at the GC, don't they?
Yes.
And
Yes.
and you said to me, Will, that they tend to stop on the viaduct at
They
Swiveland.
do. There is an allotted. I can't remember the exact time. I think it's 20 minutes, 25 minutes, just so people can have a nice view whilst they're eating their dinner, because they actually serve the dinner in time for that. So they're literally just starting to tuck into their meals as the train stops on the viaduct.
Yeah, so I've recreated that, and you do in the scenario have to stop on the viaduct.
Mm.
And then not too long after that, you get an AI train passing. So it's really cool, and there's lots to see and there's lots to do on these scenarios, which will interest the members of the public.
And obviously
And
within
they're not
reason,
quite finished. They're
yeah.
not quite finished. We've
Oh,
still got a few more to add, but it will all be good once it's all done, and it should keep people occupied.
Yes.
yeah. So they
Mm.
are as close to being accurate as possible in the game.
Mm.
Yeah, by doing research and just looking at photos and videos of different years and stuff like that, and obviously having help from Will here,
Yeah,
telling me
yeah,
where certain things
yeah.
go.
I'd just been minding my own business, and then Sam would be creating scenarios. All of a sudden, I get about 12 texts saying, "Where does this go? Where does this go?"
Yeah, yeah. We
Oh,
also, I believe Will has decided he's going to do a couple for it as well, like using the 20 and things like that, aren't you, Will?
yes. I'm going to be doing the first weekend that the diesel brake tender entered service, and I was actually second manning the 20 on it, and that'll feature a scenario with the 20 pulling a set of coaches with the brake tender in between the loco and the coaches. But then there'll be another scenario where you come out of Quorn pushing the brake tender. So do you know where the locos get dropped off, Sam?
Um,
On low loaders, the yard.
What,
at
in the
Quorn.
corn
yeah,
yard?
Quorn, yeah.
Yeah. So you'll be pushing the brake tender out of there over the points going towards Loughborough on a
Oh,
freight set.
cool. That'll be interesting. Hmm.
Yeah, I'd never been in that yard, not on a loco anyway, until that day, and it was really fun. So
Something different.
Yeah, we also
it's something
tried. We,
different.
we've tried to cover new ground as well. We've tried with the scenarios as well, and I've done it as well. We've tried to cover ground on the route where players wouldn't usually go, like sidings or yards and things.
Yes.
Areas around the route that the average person playing the route wouldn't go down. They'll just go down the main line section, won't they?
Yeah.
So we've tried to cover new tracks, as it were.
Mm.
Hmm.
Oh,
On the whole, I think that
it's all interesting.
you're not just getting a set of locos. You're getting a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? Content, but there's another word. Experience, because
that's a good way of putting it.
it's really pushing the person playing to one, out of their comfort zone, and two, to as Sam said, to do things and go places where you wouldn't usually think
You wouldn't
of
usually
or
travel
do.
there. Hmm.
Yeah. So on the whole, I think that this is I think people will enjoy it. That's the idea behind it.
Well, that's the whole reason for doing it, and that's what we do
Hmm.
hope from the community, that people do download the pack and enjoy it, because that's what it's for.
Yeah.
And we would love to see videos or screenshots of what people are doing with the pack, not just our own scenarios. If people make their own scenarios, we'd love to
Mm.
hear back from you. It's just the feedback as well, which helps us develop new ideas and change things that people aren't happy with, and we can implement different things for future releases.
Yeah.
Well, something about doing, like, if anyone who is playing our content is actually, taking screenshots and videos and, posting them online on YouTube and stuff like that, it all helps towards us. It helps us in the means of advertising it. It shows off our stuff. And also, as well, doing that, it gives us more of a motivation to shout out to you and to give you a little something back, to shout out to your YouTube channel, or, share you around a little bit. Or, even sometimes on occasions, I've said in like Discord competitions and script and stuff like that, occasional free gifts of releases in development, like special WIPs, exclusive, releases before the content comes out. There's always that opportunity. If people are gonna do stuff for us, then we'll do stuff for them. That's the sort of vibe that we have, isn't it? Really.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a community effort. That's what it is.
Hmm. Yes.
It's all well and good making these things and enjoying it yourself. But the whole idea behind everything we do is to bring something satisfactory to others as well, outside of BLS. You know, it could be some old man and his dog, or, you know, someone that's brand new to Train Simulator. Either way, you know, we hope everyone equally gets the same enjoyment out of it.
Yeah, because I mean, I enjoy just, to be honest, I've just enjoyed these scenarios in general, just driving them. Sometimes I just replay them just to drive them because I do actually find them really quite entertaining to use,
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. Exactly.
Um,
It's what it's all
Obviously,
about.
it is requirement dependent. It depends whether you have the specific requirements if you can play all of the scenarios. Now, I know that you need to have two 25 reskins on UKTS, which are the Mark Thompson Class 25 pack, which is the green one, I believe. It comes with the plain green 25 and a load of other green 25s. And then you've got the, it needs the weathered 25, the blue one. I think it's W2, I think it is, for the BR Blue pack. And another essential requirement for the scenarios is the original GCR Locomotive pack, which was released on UK Train Sim all those years ago. And that's for, you know, the 2006 sort of style scenarios and stuff where they had locos such as the large Prairie 4141 or the IVAT in black, you know, 46521. Those were around at the time, and to get it as realistic as possible, we have put them on the route as well, as it were, into the scenarios.
Yeah.
And another reason why I chose to use that pack as well is to in a way keep the requirements list minimal, because it avoids me saying, "Ah, you have to get the Victory Works large prairies to use 4141." It's better to use the freeware one because it's only AI at the end of the day, and it's not really, you don't really need the high detailed Victory Works one for that, do you? It's just pointless going to asking you to go and buy a, essentially what is probably, I think it's around about 15 quid actually or something like that, locomotive pack just for that. It's a bit, so I've tried to keep the requirements list lower, but equally it's relatively intensive because you do need the key packs, which are the 25s, you need the original GCR locomotive pack, and you need the GCR wagons, as well as the BLS reskins of the Class 31 in ochre livery, the Black 5 45305, which is part of the Black 5 preservation pack. You need those as well. And you also need the Cromwell pack that is on our website as well for the Pullman coaches. And then the rest is basically just Armstrong Powerhouse Mark 1s and standard wagons from like Coogee and West Somerset, which is a requirement for the route in the first place, I believe.
Yes.
So yeah,
Well, at
it's
least,
not too bad requirements wise, but you know,
well,
I mean,
something of this pack size, it is no doubtly going to be fairly requirement heavy, but it will all be listed in the manual, won't it?
Yes.
yeah, yeah. Another thing which we are looking to be introduced, and it's thanks to Apache and from Apache Train Simulations. He's actually changed the name of his website now. I just can't remember what it is. But Callum, aka Apache, has offered to help us in creation of a bat file for this pack. And basically, what that will do is that will be easier for anyone who is installing this pack to just literally be able to essentially double click the bat file and it will just install all the appropriate geo files in the right places instead of having to go all through all them different folders and different developers copying all the geos and pasting them all in, because I know how much of a pain in the ass that can be, especially for newcomers to the sim, you know. So we are looking into introducing a bat file for this pack just because of the fact that it is very big, and as Jordan says, it's quite intensive in its size, isn't it?
Yeah,
So
and
we
hopefully,
need to
yeah. And what I was going to say is
try and
hopefully
get it
we are,
installed easier.
we are going to hopefully look into getting more bat files into more of our packs in the future.
Yeah, because it's
Also,
something.
sorry, just as a side note, Apache's website is 84F Works.
There you go. There you are. So do a little shout out to them. Go and check them out. They do some good stuff. He's only just started actually. There's only a few little bits and pieces on there here and there. He's only just started making up a new website. So yeah, go and take a look at it. What we'll do is we'll link his website in the description of the video.
Yeah.
For you guys to look at, just to go and see. But yeah, but he's going to help us out with it as well. He's agreed. So.
Okay.
So as you can see, there is a lot of us involved with this. I mean, you've got me, Jordan, Lewis, and Will here, as well as 80. Is it 84F? Is it?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, as well as 84F Works. So there is a few of us involved with this, and it has turned out to be quite a big ass pack, hasn't it? Really.
Well, it certainly has from my original aspirations for it, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So
But it will be worth the wait. It will be enjoyable for when it comes out. It's
not
taken its time,
well,
but it will be worth it.
it's not that far from being finished now, just to say the least. There's still a few bits to finish off, but fingers crossed it shouldn't be too much longer. But we're not going to specify a date yet.
No, because that's one thing we have made mistakes of in the past. We've said to people, we've promised people things that will come out and they haven't, or has been later than expected. And this is why we're no longer going to keep doing all this due date stuff, because you just never know with these things. Sometimes stuff can take a bit longer than you expected. Because you know, we all have lives, and stuff can change during your lives, can't they? You know, and circumstances can change.
Yeah,
So,
of course.
I say, you know, the main reason this was delayed was because I got really ill, and I just couldn't do the scenarios. I just had really bad flu, and I couldn't get on with it. So technically, it's my fault that it's delayed, but I couldn't help it because I was ill. So,
But like I said at the beginning
Yeah.
of the podcast, with your illness, has given us more opportunity and more time to get a few more bits done, and a few more reskins done for the pack, which has made it even bigger, which should again correspond to being more enjoyment for the community and the public.
Yeah.
So, has anyone else got anything else to add to?
Yes. One more
Okay.
quick thing. I'm not sure whether it'll be before or after release, or it also depends on when this video goes out. But myself and Sam were thinking about doing a Great Central Diesel Gala live stream showing off the locos in this pack.
Okay.
As basically an all-day thing. I did one for the North Yorkshire Moors. That was about a 10-hour stream of me just driving things up and down the line. So we'll be doing one of those at some point. I was thinking potentially maybe this weekend. So that would be the weekend of the 15th of January. So
Sounds like a good idea.
Yeah,
I'll be around.
sounds like a good one.
So that could be something that you'll see. Whether the pack's out or not by then, I'm not sure. I don't know. But
I would say we want to do it pre-release, really, don't we? We want to do that gala before it is released.
Yeah.
So what we'll say is this: you'll see this stream, and then the pack will shortly follow. I wouldn't expect it to be more than a week or so behind the live stream.
Okay. It's good to hear. So, I think on that note, I think we can safely send. We'll end the podcast there. So I'd just like to say, thank you to the team for joining us tonight. Thank you, LJ, Will, Sam.
Welcome.
No worries, mate.
I'm sure we will. I'm sure we will catch up on another podcast at some point.
Yeah, whether or not it'll be the same lineup or not depends on what the discussion's about.
Well, this is it. We will be planning. Well, I would like to plan more podcasts, but it will be with different members of the team, and it will be different lineups from the team, discussing their own packs or even just topics that's going on in the real world or train sim world. Well, not train sim world, but train simulator community. Yeah, sod that other thing.
Well, we do train sim world stuff. Though. We do it.
No,
So
we
it is
ignore
possible.
that stuff now.
No, we don't ignore that stuff now. We don't. No, I've started on 37.
Triggers all of the Train Sim World community in one sentence.
I've started on 37 reskins, so we might see.
Well,
about
that'll probably be another that'll be a podcast for another day. Then we'll talk about some train sim world content. But
Or
anyway,
trains.
on that note, thank you everyone for joining us
not
tonight.
Trains.
And take it easy, and we'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.